Hello, hello. We back in black. We back in black. Well, technically, yeah, I'm still in black. Same thing. Close enough. But we back. A little tired, feeling a little weak, but that's okay. Might be a little sick. I do. My nose is very stuffy, but that's okay. Stuff happens when you travel. It gets to everybody. So, but we're back to training. Happier that I'm training again. Still annoyed about today, but no one cares. So we back, having fun, living our best life. But did chest and back today because I could not train and my legs were still sore. Were sore from just walking upstairs all day Thursday. It sucked. It was annoying. It was getting like I was just tired. I didn't get much sleep. Those 2 days I was gone, so just not recovering properly is something that happens a lot. And then trying to train through that should not be something you do. Like, if your legs hurt, like they're not like, it's not like, oh, they're kind of sore. It's like, oh, I do this one specific thing and my legs just feel sore as heck. Then you should probably not train legs that day. This is how it works. I mean, if you want to do the bro split, which is funny to me because, you just do one exercise per week, and then you're never sore, but you're never ultimately growing. You could do Sam Sulek's split, which is push-pull arms. Well, no, legs, push-pull arms. So it's a 4-day split, and then you repeat over and over. Pretty good. It's not bad. It's just, at some point, there will be more wear and tear, but that's okay. I want that. Sorry, I got distracted. That was a Mustang. A Gen 2 Mustang, green, with a black hood, fat tires, with like racing slicks on it. Ooh, baby. And then like, it was amazing looking, dude. Oh my gosh. Oh. Probably gotta. I mean, if they decided, and if it's got racing slicks on it, they might have decided to swap it from carbureted to fuel injected and everything, dude, and like turned it from fuel injected to carbureted. Like, changing it from carbureted to fuel injected isn't that hard. It's just switching the motor and stuff like that. But let's say instead of having, I think it's a 485. They decided to put a 5.0 in it. Okay, this is going to be an interesting topic. We'll get back to training and stuff like that in a second. I'm getting sidetracked. I'm getting excited. So, if you see a motor that says 485, 495, 500, 505, stuff like that, that's cubic inches. They used to measure motors in cubic inches. Now we measure in liters. So I think a 45 is a 5.0. I think so. I might be wrong. So it's a 5 liter. And you can get a 2.3 liter and stuff like that. Transferring that to cubic inches is harder because I don't know the math for it, but some people do. Or a 641, I think is a 6.0. So I could be throwing random numbers in, but I know a 485 is a true motor. I'm probably throwing random numbers out, doesn't make sense. I'm probably lying, whatever. But yeah, so they used to measure in cubic inches back in the day when carburetors were a big thing. And now we measure in liters. So when like you ever want to buy a part for a really old car, you have to figure out how to transfer your cubic inch motor to a liter, because a lot of times when you're doing part stores, they only do liters now instead of cubic inches. So it was such a pretty car. I ain't gonna lie to you, it was such a pretty car. One day, that's the goal. Make a lot of money. Make a lot of money, do all this stuff, and buy 2 dream cars. Anyways, let's get back to training and talking about that. So like recovery is a big thing in training. You grow recovering. So recovering is the anabolic process, and training is the catabolic process. See how that works? So catabolic is meaning you're exercising, you're wasting energy. That's stuff like that. And the anabolic process of resting is eating food, like protein and stuff like that, making sure you're getting enough food and stuff like that, and getting enough rest for your body to recover and actually build the muscle. That's why for the longest time we thought muscle was a small, like the way to grow muscle is you train and you have micro tears in the muscle. So you eat food to make sure your micro tears don't become actual tears. But more and more studies have come out that it has nothing to do with that. Mechanical tension. And the way mechanical tension works is recruitment of muscle fibers. So your muscle fibers are like a tube, or like a tube that have multiple tubes inside of them. And the more you recruit those extra muscle fibers, the more they have to grow and have to recruit more. Because now what's happening is this singular muscle fiber has a ton of little fibers inside of it, so it's asking these little fibers to work, and so it's getting bigger. That's mechanical tension. It is so interesting, like, because I've seen like a muscle cell been split apart, and guess what's really cool? You know how you can feel where your tendon is and where it isn't? You actually don't feel where your tendon isn't. You actually feel where your tendon becomes muscle. So what happens is, the way your muscles are connected to your tendons is they are interlocked like a shirt. You know, your shirts are like made out of fiber and stuff like that, locked together by like a shirt maker or stuff like that. And hey man, why? Okay, bud. I'm gonna have so much fun. Anyways, so what I'm talking about is like that's how they're interlocked. I found that out, and it was so interesting to me. You want to know what's really cool? I told someone about it, and they were disinterested, and I was so sad because like I already know that, and I was like, man, okay. Anyways, so the way your muscle, that's what's really cool. So your tendons actually are part of your muscle fibers. They're interchangeable. But the problem with your tendons is they get less blood because your muscles are so like not like less nutrients. That's why it takes your tendons forever to heal, because they don't get as much nutrients, because guess what's taking all the nutrients before it gets to it? Your muscle. And you're wondering, how does that work if your muscles and tendons are the same? Your tendons at the bottom of your muscle. So what happens is, my shoulder connects through a tendon. My muscle connects to my shoulder through a tendon And since there's a ton of blood vessels on my muscle and not like because my muscle and skin are very close, my tendons and skin are very far away. Not by a lot. Trust me. When I say far away, it's like probably a couple millimeters. But that change in depth from tendon to skin and blood vessel and stuff like that means it's not getting as much nutrients as quickly. So when you tear your tendon, that's why it takes way longer for your tendon to heal. That's why having some type of peptide, if it's prescribed to you by a medical doctor, a peptide for like your knee and stuff, like for like tendon issues and stuff like that, that's why peptides help so much. That's why they're also banned by WADA. So you can't compete in anything that's controlled by, guess what? The drug organization. The thing that says, hey, that's illegal, you can't use that. So, yes. And then, what's crazy is, it's on WADA's watch list, and a lot of people say it doesn't work. I have no idea if it works or not. But being on your WADA's watch list is a very important thing for any type of drug. Because if you're on WADA's watch list, you are considered highly useful. So, back in the day, caffeine was put on WADA's banned list. Before we were, isolating caffeine and stuff like that, it was on its watch list. Like, coffee was on WADA's watch list and then got banned and then reinstated that it was fine because we isolated testosterone. And they went, caffeine's less important than testosterone at this very moment. So stuff like that became more important. And nicotine was also on WADA's watch list for a long time. And now it's not. So the reason it was on WADA's watch list is because studies have came out that small dosages, so 0.5 milligrams of nicotine, can be helpful for activities and calming your nerves so you can perform better. Now, I'm not going to suggest to take nicotine. Fuck that. It's highly addictive. I'm sorry, but it's highly addictive. It's not as addictive as cocaine and stuff like that, but stuff that is considered highly addictive by standards of most people, you don't want to take even in small dosages. This is my opinion, not an actual opinion of someone who actually has research on this. I've listened to someone who has a ton of research on this, and they say, and they sell a supplement that has 0.5 milligrams of nicotine and 0.5 milligrams of THC and stuff like that. And it's a performance supplement. Cool. I will not be taking it. Probably never. Because the thing is, I am terrified of getting addicted to nicotine. Because that stuff can and will fuck you up. Because once you get addicted to something like that, you get headaches and shit and all kinds of stuff. The after effects suck. So I'm good. I don't know about you, but I'm good. The whole thing about so you understand how how all these drugs are addictive. They're mentally addictive. They get into your brain and they actually they intercept hormones happy, your happy hormone and stuff like that, and replace it and use itself for that slot. So you suck. Yeah, you're so smart. I love how far you got. Whatever. Yeah, so it replaces your whatever, I can't remember what it's called now. Your happy hormone, and that's why you get addicted to it. or it helps you produce more. But we're gonna go on to a topic about steroids. They're addictive in a completely different way. They don't replace they replace hormones, but they don't replace, like, they don't do the exact same effect as other drugs. You visibly see the changes in your body and you go, I want to keep doing this because look how big I am. And you feel like Superman, from what I've been told. Because I have no idea. I am way too young for that shit. On God, I am too young. I am too late into training for it to actually matter. So it's not matter. It's too early into training for it to actually matter and me to care. So, anyways, but that's why it's so hard for most people to hop off, because they know what's going to happen. As if they PCT properly, they don't have to worry about their testosterone being in the dumps and then being depressed, like depressed. But if they do it improperly, you can be depressed because your testosterone is so low that it's scary. But you could just go get TRT. I'm not suggesting anything, man. I'm just giving you facts. Facts are terrible, so, that's how that works. Anyways, so, like, stuff like that is very interesting. Being on that type of drugs and then seeing the transformation you see, I understand. Because I've seen people shoot up from, like, a good solid 160 pounds to a solid 250. What the absolute fuck happened there? Because that's a lot of muscle really quickly, and that's not just like, so the thing is, like, having a ton of muscle that quickly isn't just dangerous for health-wise because of the drugs you're taking, but it's dangerous because having that much weight on your frame that quickly can cause so many problems. Think about it. You're at 160, you're good, your heart's running fine. Now you add on a supplement, a super supplement that would otherwise be a detriment to your health. It could raise your cholesterol, it could raise your what's it called? Like, it could thicken your blood, stuff like that. It can also, like, raise your heart rate and make it really close to break. Maybe you have a heart attack, like 100 beats per minute. But what you're also doing is you're adding on a ton more weight, making your heart have to work harder anyways. That's the scary thing. That's also why some of those side effects are so detrimental, is because you put on so much extra muscle mass, but your heart doesn't care how much muscle you have. It just cares how hard it has to work to move all this blood through all this mass. That's the interesting part, is like realizing that like, it's not just the like side effects that get you, it's also the positives. Like, think about it. Let's say the positive is you put on a fuck ton of muscle. The negative is you put on a fuck ton of muscle and you might have sleep apnea because of how much weight's just on you. Yeah, a ton of muscle is cool. I want a ton of muscle. Trust me. A fuck ton of muscle is crazy to me. Like, I would love it. I would love to have that much more muscle. But I don't want enough muscle to where I have to have, like, sleep apnea is a serious thing. And, like, putting on that much muscle and getting sleep apnea is an accomplishment, because that's a lot of muscle. But it's also an accomplishment because it's a lot of weight. Like what you're becoming is an obese person with muscle. Like a very, very muscular obese person. Like your FMI, your fat, your FMI. That's FMI. FMI. Whatever. Your mass index is like over the fucking 20s. Yes, it does not do like the extraordinary people, but it does give you a small idea of how important it is that like maybe being a slight 200 pounds at 5'9" is a lot of weight. I'm just saying, it's a lot. I have a goal of being about that. And that's the funny thing is like I want to be like my FMI to be in the obese range, but me being like 10% or like not 10%, but like a healthy body fat. Because that would be a huge flex. I want my FMI, your fat-free mass index, to be like in the 20s, like 24, no, like 22, 23. Because that would be a lot of muscle. So that's the goal. Is that I have a ton more muscle. And it's going to take a lot of time for me to get there. But it's not like I'm adding in anything that would be detrimental to my health, even if it didn't add muscle to me. So, I don't know. It's really interesting, that thought process to me. Because I have to think about, hey man, I don't want to die quickly. So, I'm going to try and keep my health in check. I don't want to get hurt quickly. So, I'm going to try and make sure I'm training smart. I don't want to do all these like random things so I can't train and stuff like that. That's what like my brain has to go through all the time. Please. Fuck. Let's say I am out of town for a week and there is no fucking gym anywhere. I'm gonna be pissed. Because guess what? That's annoying because that fucks with my schedule. That fucks with how much muscle I'm growing because I'm not training. But hey, I don't have control over that at that moment. But damn well am I gonna train my ass off once I get back. Because I can't have that loss period be a complete loss in muscle gain. It has to be a interesting like thing. It has to be made sure that I can do it. So I don't know. Anyways, good night, good day, bye-bye. All right. Fuck. Okay. Since I've been seeing this a lot. Fuck. Yeah, my grips. I can't even do a pull-up after that. That's fucking fun.